I just saw too many times you do skill work or shooting drills and it's 70%, 80%, where you're not going game speed, or maybe the passer's going half speed and they're not giving them the laces, or they're throwing a lollipop, or it's at their knees, at their head. Like, as a player, I took a ton of pride in my passing. So it's something I want to try to develop our drills where our players they're forced to throw good passes, or their teammates going to be on them because they're slowing them down. So I think just as many of those little things we can do. It takes my voice having to be on every little thing, and it puts the voice in the power of the voice in the player's hands. It just carries so much more weight when it's coming from that. I want people to look at our program, be around us. If you came and sat in the office and spent time with us for 3 days, to say, man, that's a competitive group. So for me, it's like, okay, how do we do that? We talked about it a little bit, like off the practice floor. When we're together, we're going to usually do something competitive. If we're having a barbecue or we're getting together, we're going to have a cornhole tournament. We're going to do video game, whatever. We're going to do something to compete. Even outside of the practice floor, like we keep track of, especially up until we start playing games, we keep track of every win and loss each guy has in a competitive segment. And so we'll go through each week. We have basically the weekly winner. So we may have had 36 live segments. And if you went 30-6 that week, you're the winner. You have the best winning percentage. If you're the weekly winner, you don't have to run when your team loses in a competitive drill that following week. So if you're the weekly winner, you don't have to run if your team loses the following week. So a little incentive there. We also post it. So it's the guys see, like, man, you see your weekly, week 1, week 2, week 3, my total, and you see like, hey, this guy's winning 80% of his games. You're winning 25. You're at the same position. Like, at the end of the day, what do you want me to do? If his team keeps winning and your team's not, how can we adjust? Where can we get you better? So we try to do little things like that. Almost to the point, like every time we get together, I bring the guys over to my house for a barbecue. It's like, we're going to have a cornhole tournament. And there's going to be a winner and a loser. And just think, I love the nature of today's high school and club setup. I think these guys get to play a ton of games and they do all the skill development, and like players are as skilled as ever. The thing I think we miss sometimes is the true nature of the competition. And what I mean by that is, like, okay, you get 4 games on a weekend, you go 3-1 or 2-2, you get 4 games the next weekend. And I think sometimes we've lost just being able to show up at the park or in the gym with 10 to 12, 15 other guys, and you lose, you're off, and you got to wait. And there's no ref. You got to figure it out. There's no coach figuring out the subs. And you got to learn from the older guys, and you got to learn some stuff on the fly, and you figure out, okay, who am I and who am I playing with and how do we win? I think so much is structured, which can be great, but I think we've lost some of that creativity in figuring things out. So that's my soapbox, but that's what led, I think, to us and how we build things. Those are the big 3 things. Like I said, we do some other stuff, no doubt about it, but those are the big things I think that have really helped. Going back to the very beginning, shape our core principles of what we're trying to do from an offensive and defensive standpoint. We've got all our little tricks and all the things we're doing from a schematic standpoint, but what are our core principles? What are our core values? And then how can we highlight them on a daily basis to get those guys to understand it? And I think those are our 3 more core principle drills.